Laughs galore tonight when Ted's running battle with the kids from the Catholic school develops into full-scale war when the Kingswood's aerial is broken off on Kingswood country. But to get you started, it's the Thamesmen.
Hello.
Oh, George, how are you?
Day 2 of test recordings commences. I'm George, I'm in Los Angeles.
My name is Alex, I'm in Colorado, and it's wonderful up here.
Is it everything you hoped it to be?
Yes.
And more?
Everything I wanted to be and more. I mean, I have to keep, I am a recovering Californian,
Okay.
right? So everything is a recovering Californian. For example, I don't know, it's just like, coffee is just normal coffee. It doesn't come in like, stupid Californian flavors.
I'll have a decaf coffee.
I'll have a decaf espresso.
I'll have a double decaf cappuccino.
Do you have any decaffeinated coffee ice cream?
I'll have a half double decaffeinated half cap with a twist of lemon.
You coming to the
I'll have a
set
twist
now?
of lemon.
I'll have a twist of lemon. I'll have a twist of lemon, please.
I'll have a twist of lemon.
And the wheat and not the cornfield. I just thought that's where tacos were, and corn chip sticks, and they're not.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's a plant.
You're learning all sorts of things then. And how's the wildlife?
So, ladies and gentlemen, literally out back. I'll tell you a story, and I was telling George before. There, we got a fair few miles of acreage, and we were walking up there, and we found near the neighbour's land, we found a camera on a tree.
That's not creepy.
So,
but okay, carry on. Yeah.
Well, we don't have borders here. We just, So we did what you would do, right? Which was I got in front of the camera and I did that stupid dance and whatever, and then my 10-year-old turned around and did a really good twerk. He was twerking in front of the camera. Anyway, the next day the doorbell rings and it was the neighbor, and I said, "Did you see me on your camera?" He goes, "Yep." And I said, and my son said, "Did you see me twerk?" He said, "Yeah, we're all after your twerk." and I should put the picture up behind. Then he showed the bear that was there. It was actually 8 minutes after.
Holy cow. I know, you sent me that picture. It is a huge bear.
It is a massive bear. So the guy, he went and measured it. It's over 6 foot, and so he just went off, and he's just bought himself a bear pistol. I mean, a really big bear pistol.
What is a bear pistol? It's like be a cannon. You'd be like
yeah.
like. What the hell would you take that bear down?
And
with?
I can't use one. I can't have a pistol. I'm British because I mean, like, I would like just point it at myself.
Shoot yourself with a foot or something. Yeah.
But also, I mean, like, all right. So this is where bears lie on the scale. All right. So do you think we've done this before? But it's always interesting. Do you think you could beat a rat?
A rat. You see, we did have this conversation, I think, before. Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, I think I could be a rat, but not a pack of rats. Yeah.
Good. Well, over 70% of Americans could. Could you beat a house cat?
They can be vicious bastards when they get into it, but a 50-50 chance on a cat, I think. Yeah.
Well, 70% of Americans think they could beat a cat unarmed. Okay, could you beat a goose?
Yeah, vicious bastards.
I know they are. And
bastards.
the disparity between English and Americans is quite big because we know geese.
Yeah, well, I've been attacked by one, so I know they're.
Yeah.
I'd rather run away from a goose, honestly. Yeah, but
I've been trapped in a car by them. I couldn't get out.
As long as the goose wasn't in the car with you.
60% of Americans think they could beat a goose unarmed.
They've never met a goose.
Right? No, only 45% are British.
You see, yeah.
So okay, I'll move down to let's say something. Right, let's go a bit something patriotic. Do you think you could beat an eagle?
No.
Well, actually, 30% of Americans think they could beat an eagle unarmed in a fight, but only 17% are British.
Oh, there we go. Yeah,
Let's move right down. So here we go. Right. This is okay. Could you beat a chimpanzee?
no, they'll rip your face off. No, we're not going to have
I
never
could.
beat a
I
chimpanzee.
could.
No.
17% of Americans could beat a chimpanzee unarmed. All right. King Cobra, and I've seen one in Thailand in the
We'll
swamp,
have a fight with a king cobra.
and win unarmed.
No, they're too fast. I'm not one of those guys who can whip in and grab it. You know what I mean? No.
Americans travel so much. 15% of Americans think, and only about 6% are British. Okay. Kangaroo, wolf, crocodile. Could you beat a
God,
crocodile?
no, never.
10% of Americans could beat a crocodile unarmed.
What who are these people?
All right, here we go. Gorilla, 9%. Lion, 9%
No.
of Americans could be.
No.
9% of America. Well, they could be from Chicago.
Or the hood or something, but no. What are they thinking?
Well, this is an interesting statistic. Okay, 1% of British could beat this animal unarmed, but yet a healthy 9%. Do you know what animal that is?
Is it going to be on topic like a bear?
No.
No.
An elephant. I would love to have an arena and put an American in there with an elephant.
Or no,
You win.
put 100 Americans in there and then see 9
one
of them
elephant.
go at it. You know, and the other 91
And
running
the
away.
ultimate one of them all, which is back to the photograph, and we missed by 8 minutes, right? Scratching its ass on that tree. How many percent of Americans could beat a bear unarmed in a fight?
I can think they'd probably 10%. I think would reckon they'd do it.
7% of Americans. 0%.
Are you going to love Americans' confidence? You know, you've got
yeah.
to love their confidence. It is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
How just we can do it. God, we're going to land on the moon. We can beat a bear in a fight. You know, yeah.
Unarmed. I know. I mean, in England, when you go to school, it's like, shut up, be quiet, you stupid child. Here in America, it's like they've got a mascot as an eagle, all clapping hands, we will rock you. It's just infectious.
That's probably
from
true, actually. That's
school.
probably very true. It's a good point, and it's not a bad thing, I think, in some ways. You know, apart from when you meet a bear, and then it's a bad thing.
No, my wife, who's obviously no bear expert, but she got a small bit of information, and she said, and I don't know, I'd like to see it. She said you can always take a bear out in a chokehold. Now, I would like to say my wife is Greek. There are no bears in Greece.
No.
But for some reason, she thinks if you get it in a good arm, in a neck hold, you could choke out.
Yeah. I think
Now,
I think
keep that in the back of your mind as the last bit of emergency is like, George, chokehold it.
Chokehold a bear.
Chokehold it. 7%. So go on, you could get it. You could be in the top 7%. Oh dear. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. So the wildlife is great.
Yeah, so we've tested the Wibble function on this channel now. Then have we? It's
We are a reaction channel. What are we reacting to?
well, this week, because we are testing out our technology, our satellites and our mics and our bits and pieces, and Alex may or may not have a background behind him because we're trying out a bit of software until his green screen. Amazon Prime in the whole of America. What next day? Amazon Prime where Alex lives. 3 months?
No, exactly. And Amazon's trying to decide if it's 2024 or 2025.
Are they delivering it by donkey cart or something like that? The wagon train's coming through, is it?
Don't be unpatriotic. It's by an eagle.
By eagle. Yeah, exactly. So today we do Jimmy Barnes because we're just doing some classics. Jimmy Barnes. Barnesy.
Jimmy Barnes. Are you looking at me or chewing the brick? Because my name's Jimmy Barnes.
Jimmy Barnes. I'm a wild thing, as we know. So yeah, this is a 1985, and it's called Working Class Man. We've even got some notes because Chris, even though we've been having a little break, Chris has not. Chris, our curator in Australia, thank you, Chris, has provided us with some words.
Those who don't know Chris is the third Thamesman. He's incredibly good looking, so powerful that we can't put him on the screen because he will break your heart.
And he is the one who picks out the great tracks, basically, or
He
helps
does.
us in conjunction with some other people contribute. So it's all good. But anyway, shall I read the notes? Are you feeling in a reading mood?
Yeah.
Or shall I read?
No, I don't have the capability.
Okay. Written by Jonathan Kane, keyboardist of Journey. Jimmy convinced him to let him record the song after meeting him in the US. Barnes said, most people think it was written about me. but it was actually written about my audience, staunch, honest people who work and who care. The song peaked at number 5 in Oz and also reached number 22 on the US rock charts. So it's Jimmy Barnes, Working Class Man from 85. And this is a live version recorded in 1988. 88.
88. When this is Australia in their prime.
Yeah. So also I see that the gentleman we have known as Diesel is on guitar in this track. So look out for that. So
Being banned in California now.
Diesel, yeah, I heard that. Yeah. So where was I? Anyway, don't matter. Another story. Right.
Not Diesel the guitarist, just Diesel.
He has. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Should we do this?
Yes.
Are we ready, sir?
Yes.
3,
Ready, sir.
2, 1, go. Classic.
Brilliant.
That's awesome. That's proper.
Proper Barnsley.
Proper Barnsley. Any more, is that it?
That's brilliant. All right.
Nicely done. That was...
A great song because he gives the persona of the working class guy. He's up there with his wife beater shirt.
Yeah.
And his Mel Gibson haircut. and he is a working class man.
He's a man of the people, isn't he?
Good for him for being proud, standing up. No airs and graces. I'm not rock royalty in the back of a Rolls Royce looking like Prince Dauphin. I'm a working class man, and I'm bloody brilliant, and I'm proud about it. And good on you, Barnsley. People love you for it.
Yeah, and saves a fortune on costumes. Absolutely brilliant, clever idea. I went fishing last weekend after my little mini break, and went out on a boat, and I wore a wife beater because I thought it's gonna be hot out there and gonna be reeling in the fish, sort of thing, and also trying to help get rid of my trucker tan, So I wore my wife beater kind of thing. I got utterly sunburnt shoulders, because they've not seen the sunlight in 5 years or something like that. It's been miserable all week. I've been
And not only that, you caught no fish.
I know. I'll put a picture up behind. I caught a flounder, a huge fish, and we went back and we barbecued it, and we caught. I've got a load of fish. Between us, we caught about 20 fish maybe. So
brilliant.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And 20 beers at the same
man.
time.
Well done for being a working class man. Back to the track. Absolutely brilliant. No holds barred. It's got such. He is the Australian Springsteen.
Yeah, he is absolutely. He follows that path. I think sometimes Springsteen can be more sort of poetic in his lyrics in some regards, but
not much.
Some of this stuff is pretty damn cool. But I like Jimmy Barnes. I think I find Jimmy Barnes more entertaining and more authentic in some regards, which sounds weird when they're both authentic musicians,
They both are the working class man, but the difference being is that Barnes' voice is one in a generation.
Yeah, it's absolutely magic. Yeah.
I mean, it's just Christ almighty. It's just when you think he can go no harder, no faster, and I can't put any more gravel in the mixer.
Yeah, right. He chugs.
Out comes a bottle of vodka.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. He's probably now. We're a bit. Apologies, Australia. We love you, and we think you do awesome music. But we do always talk about how the 80s, you took 80% of the 80s in Australia.
87%, 100% of the time.
And that came down to the use of the mullet and things like that. I thought the keyboard player was at the zenith of that because he had the permed mullet. I don't know if you noticed that, which was really, when you were talking mullet hairstyles, that was the king of mullets, where you permed your mullet. Fantastic. It was pretty awesome.
Class of his own.
Yeah, it was class.
Absolutely. He that was 10% of the 80s in one haircut. But Barnsley did look like, and I think there was one style, the Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
And I think him and Mel have got an interchangeable mullet.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was just
the same barber, probably.
Same barber. And probably same and I mean down to the perfect. But a permed mullet is a thing. It's like a cloak. It's regal.
It was, regal. It was very, very appropriate for the time. Now, in all those comments, by the way, thank you everyone who supported us while we had our break, because we wanted the engagement to keep YouTube from utterly punishing us. On one of the comments, I think someone had gone back to one of our videos where it must have been talking about Paul Hogan and put a shrimp on the Barbie and how he's the face of advertising for Australia. Someone said he was actually English. And he came over and he sort of manufactured his Australianness to be part of his comedy routine. So that was.
And I don't want to nitpick that. Isn't every Australian English?
No. Some are Greek, some are other places.
Apart from that,
and then there are some actual Australians.
Yes. But, I mean, limited history. But there were so many Brits that went over there and then came back or whatever. It's like, well, hang on a second, the Bee Gees. Whites. They were British.
Yeah.
But then they went to Australia, and then they came back. And then there was Farnham. He was British. He was a plumber, and he just thought bigger pipes out there and moved out there. And then, and then AC/DC wasn't the Angus or whatever. They were Scottish, and they went.
But
out
I think
there.
a lot of them was like it was their parents' generation who went out. You know, because to get out of the grimness of England and Scotland and all those places, you think about it, they'd have been moving over in the 50s and 60s, where we've talked about it before. England was still suffering from the effects of the Second World War, wasn't it? And and not low unemployment, shitty weather, no opportunities.
When George and I were younger. It was England was like Bulgaria in the winter, I do remember London. They were still bombed out. Bombed out. There would be a house missing. House missing, and then there was unemployment, and it was grim in England back then. So I can understand why everyone would fled. And by the way, we don't hold any claim on these. They are 100% Australian.
Of course, yeah.
I'm just saying. All these people were raised in Australia. They are Australian culture. They're not English.
Yeah, I was reminded last night. I was listening to Sinead O'Connor, and obviously she passed away recently. And I heard a song I'd never heard before, because it was her first political song, one of her first political songs. And it was called, I think it's called Black Boys on Mopeds.
Fuck the British. Fuck the British.
No, he was fuck the Pope. No, it was Black
yeah.
Boys on Mopeds. And I don't know if you've heard that track, but it is absolutely brilliant. It's like talking about Thatcher's England and how she doesn't want her son to grow up where the police are shooting black boys on mopeds. And it was so the lyrics are astounding as a protest song.
Oh,
yeah,
we'll have to go back there.
Yeah, go check it out. It's a Sinead O'Connor. It's just an amazing track. So yeah.
Well, we are a reaction channel. Maybe we could do.
Maybe we could react to it.
Yeah,
I've seen it now.
Okay.
You could react to it. Yeah. Anyway,
I don't think anyone wants to see a solo reaction.
Well,
I'll get myself in trouble immediately if you weren't here.
It's probably fair enough. All right. Well,
if we're not scoring, but if we were scoring this week, what would be your score out of 10 for that track?
I love Jimmy Barnes.
So do I.
And why don't you go first?
Well, every time I think about Jimmy Barnes now, because he's on the Thamesmen Instagram, he's connected down there, ladies and gentlemen. I always see pictures of him gardening, and I imagine him just like singing, like "Come on, kid," you know what I mean? Just like, I just imagine him really screaming at his vegetables. Good song, great song. I loved it actually. I thought it was an anthem, an Australian anthem, a working class anthem. I think it's up there. It's like an 8.7.
8.7. I was going to go 8.6. That was where I was going to be on that one. I think. So it'd be
and I think the word is anthemic because
Anthem.
it's something you can get behind. The song takes off in its own. It has a movement behind it, which is great. A bit like the moped, black kids on mopeds.
Apart from getting shot.
It transcends the music.
I think if you were in the crowd, everyone would be singing along. You'd know the words. You'd be having a good time. So yeah.
I wouldn't.
You were.
Because that was 3/4 of the way through, so I'd probably be in the toilet picking it. Because I would have been so excited, I would have drunk too much,
Peaked before your
and
time.
then I would have just ghosted you, and I'll be in the toilet at the moment.
That's never happened ever, really.
No, never happened,
ever
ever.
happened,
No.
ever.
No.
Yeah. Right, it was the first.
All right, and on that pleasant note, see you on the flip side.
See you on the flip side.
Bye.